Hi guys, it's Sharon here from Butterfly Lullaby. The date is the 22nd of the 11th, 2022. I'm just going to share a story with you. I got bitten by a dog in the park. I think it was around April 2022 this year. And I just want you to know if anybody else had experienced the same sort of thing as me. If you have, please do leave comments below. If you know somebody, it was yourself, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm just going to share my story with you now. So basically, I was just walking in the park. Doggy was on the lead, and we're going past the rugby pitch. And usually, you know, it's locked and people can't go in there because they don't want dogs pooping on the rugby pitch for obvious reasons. So we noticed that this lady was in the rugby pitch with her dog, and we're sort of like, oh, she shouldn't really be in there. That's sort of out of bounds. Why is she in there, sort of thing? So we thought, oh well, we'll just sort of like carry on. So we carried on, walked round, and then before we knew it, this dog had actually come out because it could see our dog on the lead. And I said, you know, I was trying to be polite. She was still in the rugby pitch, far away. And I said, oh, hello, how are you, to the doggy, trying to be friendly. And before I knew it, it was prowling. I thought, uh-oh. So I turned round and he was attacking. He was basically attacking our poor little dog. And, you know, my daughter had him on the lead, round her legs, and she's trying to twist him around to get the dog away. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, you know, my daughter could get hurt, bitten on the legs, or, you know, if she bends down and puts her hand down, her hands could get really badly damaged because she plays the cello and the guitar. I didn't want anything to happen to her. And I was worried about our dog as well because he'd been through enough. He's already been attacked a few times before that. So I didn't want anything to happen to him. So anyway, I quickly sort of grabbed the collar of this dog and I pulled him off. And as I pulled him off, his head swiped round. Before I knew it, he bitten me on the hand and I was bleeding and I was in a lot of pain. Anyway, this lady comes up to us and she's like, oh, it's not my dog, it's my daughter's dog. And I'm like, you know, I couldn't believe, I was in shock. And she's like, this is a civil matter and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, really arrogant. She's, you know, I said to her, look, can I have your name, please? She said, it's Margaret. I said, no, can I have your full name, please? And she's like, no. And I was like, what? What do you mean, no? Can I just have your name, please? And she's just like, no, I'm not giving you my name. I'm thinking, wow. She said, I'm ex-police. I can deal with this. It's a civil matter. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? It's absolutely unbelievable, the arrogance of this woman. So I ended up saying to my daughter, just take a photo. And she said, because I couldn't do it because my hand was in agony and I couldn't sort of, you know, do anything with my hand, to be quite honest. And my daughter didn't want to do that because she was threatening with the police. I said, call the police. I said, I'm the one that's actually been hurt here. I'm the one in agony from your dog. And she's, you know, trying to get out of it. And then we had a witness come round. We actually knew this lady, but she could see us arguing. She could see my hand and I was in pain. But the thing is, most people don't want to get involved, so that was quite difficult. So anyway, we was arguing for quite a bit of time. A poor little dog who was so stressed out. You know, he's been attacked enough in that park, and it's just like, oh gosh. So that was the last time he went to that park. I wasn't going to go to the hospital, to be quite honest, because I've been bitten a lot worse on my other hand. This is up in London when in my 20s, because my friend had a dog that was from a rescue centre, and the poor little doggy used to get beaten on the head. So he was a really nervy dog. So you had to stroke him very carefully, and he mustn't cover his eyes. When you're going down to stroke him, you've got to be really careful not to stroke him on the head so he can't see. You know, he's got to be stroking him on the back or, you know, whatever. And I was going to an interview, and I just forgot that I shouldn't stroke him that way on his head because he thinks you're gonna hit him. So of course I got bit. So there I was bleeding and having to go to an interview of all things. I got the job, by the way. And then I went to the hospital. I had stitches, a tetanus, and I came home. So, I mean, with this one, which wasn't as bad as that one, I had to go into hospital for 2 days. And I had to have an operation. They had to cut my hand open. It's near my fingers. Check for nerve damage, clean it out, etc., stitches. And the lady in the operating theatre, she had some sort of disability, so she had a special dog that costs a lot of money, like a guide dog sort of thing, but for something else, some other health reason she had this dog. So it's a really expensive dog. So she doesn't like dogs that are off the lead, and it really annoys her because if her dog got attacked, etc., that could cost her a lot of money to, have that dog go to the vet, or, it's just like, no, just keep your dog on the lead, keep your dog away from my dog, thank you very much. So she was very supportive of me and said that, you've got to take this further, basically. So, yeah, my daughter reported it. Nothing was done. I was told that they couldn't track her mobile number because I got a mobile number off her, even though I didn't get her full name. And, yeah, I mean, she'd messaged me that night, actually, before I went into hospital. Actually, I was in hospital when she messaged me, I think. And then when I told her I was in hospital, I didn't hear anything more from her. She completely disappeared off the planet of the Earth, Yeah, so what happened next? So, yeah, I was in hospital for 2 nights. And nothing happened with the police. They said they couldn't track her number. And, then I was told, because I complained to the chief of police, they said, well, actually, we can track her number, but it's going to take 6 months. And I thought, 6 months, crikey. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I mean, have you experienced the same sort of thing? I mean, if you're an ex-police officer, does it really take 6 months to track a number? I'd love to hear from people to find out what the situation is. So my daughter did a little sketch of Margaret. I know I'm not going to get any justice because we know the dog locally that was they were just walking down the road. Lovely dog. My dog loves this dog. She knew him as a puppy. Great big beautiful dog, and really lovable and such a cuddly little thing. Wouldn't hurt a fly, but a dog attacked him around the neck, and the owner had to try and drag this dog off him because the other dog's owner's son just stood there and didn't do anything. You get that a lot, don't you, sometimes? So, yeah, his poor dog, he had to have stitches and traumatised, absolutely traumatised, like our dog is, But, I mean, going through that must be really traumatic, having to have stitches. And my friend's dog has had stitches, has been attacked, actually, as well. My other friend in America, so she's been wounded by trying to get the dogs. 2 dogs attacked her dog, so she's really in agony, and her thumb hurts and her hand hurts from trying to get the dogs off her dog, and her dog's had stitches, and her dog's traumatised. So people that say that your dog is not traumatised when it goes through something like that, that's not right. They are. I even know my friend whose dog got attacked and shook when it was a puppy. That dog's 17 years old now, and it hates dogs. That dog hates dogs. So, we know our dogs, don't we? So when you're told, oh no, you can sort this out, it's really quite frustrating. It's just like, yeah, whatever, And also slip lead. I'm not going to use a slip lead on our dog because it can choke your dog, and I don't want that. So we're just going to keep with the harness, just keep out of the park and just go around places where, you know, hopefully there are no dogs. I mean, he barks at dogs across the road because he's so nervous. Because, I mean, you know, can you imagine for him, he's seen his human attacked and then, you know, the woman being really aggressive and unhelpful and rude. So he doesn't like some people and he doesn't like some dogs. So, you know, it's just the way it is. But he's not a vicious dog. He's, you know, he's a lovable little thing. He's just traumatised, poor little thing. You know, he's been left with anxiety issues because of being attacked so much. You know, he's been attacked 4 times. And then me going to hospital hasn't helped, you know, with that. That was very traumatic. And then also, you know, we went down to see our family and my family's dog attacked him, so I had to pick him up. So that scared him as well. So, you know, so if you come across a dog that's sort of barking and growling, just, you know, have a bit of empathy because that dog is, you know, something's happened to that poor dog that's made him traumatised, which isn't the fault of the owner. But, you know, something's happened in the park or whatever, you know, you just don't know, do you? So, yeah, just have an open mind. So, anyway, going to education now. I've been trying to help my daughter raise money for her art and music education because she deserves it, you know. She went through a tough time in school, and that's another story. But it's really difficult to get support in the UK for this sort of thing. I mean, we have had some support, thankfully, but trying to raise money for education, you'd think that, you know, you'd get support within the government services for that, but it's really, really hard. And the thing that really irritates me is that, you know, the school system failed my daughter and there's no apology or compensation for, you know, young people that are failed by the school system. Why is that? There should be, shouldn't there? And especially when you live in a country where, you know, universities are promoting really toxic, dangerous jobs that are immoral, and, you know, it's unbelievable what they're promoting actually at some universities. So they're doing this, yeah. You know, I've got a nice counsellor in our town, and he said that I could put this poster up in the park to help my daughter raise money for her education. He's helped her, you know. He also, what was the word? He funded her to teach children art in 2019, and the church was really kind and gave her a free room. And also, you know, he sort of like encouraged her to sing in the park this year. So I do have a really nice counsellor who supports home education, etc. But the main council, Swansea Council, is not so nice. They said no to the poster going up in the park. And my argument is, if you can allow this dangerous job in universities to be promoted, why can't you allow our young people to, you know, help them get funding for their education, to keep them safe and away from those dangerous jobs, and just to help them, you know, raise money for their education and not get in debt? Why is the support not there? And the strange thing is that I actually know a Senko teacher that blew the whistle on bullying in a school, and she's a really lovely, kind lady. She helps young people get an arts award when they've been failed by the school system. So, yeah, and she's also worked in another council that is not doing their job. She tried to get funding for children and young people that have been failed by the school system, you know, but no, they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to allow her to get the funding, and they put the wrong email address down for her on this council website, Gassign Council. Not good at all, not good at all. And she was bullied out. But she is such an amazing person because she's helped my daughter. She took her to a college for free. You know, she didn't charge petrol money. She took us twice. And also she took her to a art gallery for free, got her lunch and got a pad and just encouraged her art. She's also paid for a DBS check so she can teach to raise money for her education. Not that my daughter's got time to do that sort of thing now because she seems to be studying like every night and weekends, etc. She doesn't seem to have any free time at all. She's got to travel 3 hours to get to the college, which is a shame because she could, you know, she's not able to sort of like do her music that much now, which is really important as well because, you know, it's the whole point of home education is so that she got a bespoke education. But hopefully things will work out and, yeah, I'm sure they will. But we're really lucky because the Dork Diaries author, Rachel Rennie Russell, really supported Melody and sent her a beautiful book and a letter supporting home education, which, of course, the library wasn't allowed to promote because they're not allowed to promote home education as a good thing, even though we're a really amazing success story. So there's so many elite brick walls going on in this country, isn't there, that just prevents justice. It just seems so wrong. So anyway, if you guys would love to support my daughter, I'd so appreciate it. Even if you just share the link to the competition. It ends on the 1st of December 2022 this year. So, and the tickets are £2 each. But if you can't afford it, I know things are tough. But if you just share this with family, friends, even if it's privately, we'd so appreciate it because, you know, our young people deserve support. And what I hope to do is actually find a way to get support for funding young people to study and go on to further studies without getting them in debt, and especially the working class people, they need support. There's a film actually on YouTube, I might see if I can put it onto my blog, but it's Michael Sheen saying about levelling out the playing field because, you know, when he was an actor, when he was young rather, he had two people that, so he knew that he could make it because two people from Port Talbot became famous actors. One was Richard Burton and the other was Anthony Hopkins. So all three of those amazing Welsh actors come from Wales and the same area. Isn't that, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? So yeah, that's a really fantastic story that you need to listen to. I'll see if I can add it to my links in the description. So yeah, just I think we need to do more for our kids. I really do. I write letters of complaint all the time to, you know, my MP, and sadly, I mean, she's done some nice things for me, but she can't. She's got, even though she's an ex-teacher, for some reason, she's not allowed to help me on my complaint for education or my complaint for the councils. And I just find that bizarre. I mean, I think that we need to know what an MP's role is and change it so that it can be more worthwhile, so we can actually get things solved rather than it get fobbed off. Because trying to get a letter to the head of education, Jeremy Miles, I mean, I got a letter today, or just yesterday actually, via email, but you can't talk directly to these people. It's as if, I don't know, it's as if they're like gods, or they think they're gods. They're not gods. There's only one God. And I'm not religious, but I do believe in a God, and I believe in kindness, and, you know, I think that's really important to support that. So I believe in the God of kindness. That's what I believe in. And yeah, if only we could have a kindness qualification in education and government services, then I think we would get some justice. So I've blabbered on for a long time. 20 minutes, blinking heck. So I'll go now. I shall leave you in peace, and I shall go now. I've had my moan, my whinge. So yeah, do share any stories. I think sharing stories is so important because people can relate to them. If something like this has happened to them, they can relate to them. And, you know, by sharing stories, you can also fix problems by sharing stories. Because you go, oh, well, if you didn't know that information, actually somebody shared that information, so you know what's actually going on. So I shall leave you in peace now. Have a wonderful week. I know I will. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.